How's my sound coming through?
Your sound is coming. Your sound's coming through. How's my sound coming through?
Okay.
Is it coming good? Is it better now?
Go check.
Checkity tick, check. Rippity rhyme with the rhymity rip. That's how the Brandon spits.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You ready to go?
Whoa. I was doing most of that.
Okay. What? It was you?
It was mostly me.
Okay.
I don't know. This was more for them than for you. I don't know when you're gonna start.
We can start right now. Brandon, welcome back to the studio.
Thank you. It's been a while.
It feels like a while. It's been a couple weeks, but it feels
yeah, because we're usually here like every week.
Yeah,
every week to every other week, but it's been like 3.
As we've said before, I'm sure you guys have heard us say it too many times, maybe. I don't know. This isn't how we make our money, unfortunately, right now.
Yes.
For the time being. This is not how we make our money. So we do have to have other jobs that pay the bills.
Yes.
In order for me to have this house, for this studio, for this.
And I know I take a lot of blame for a lot of stuff because usually it is my fault. But this particular, I was getting burnt out. Because I was reading and writing and just constant bombardment. I had too much download. I had to defer to Justin, and then scheduling came up, and then I'm switching schedules, and it's been a lot. So I had to take a step back so I can take a couple steps forward. And this is just a couple steps forward, right? This is us coming back and getting back into it.
Well, you guys remember, and we've talked about on the show, Brandon hurt his back. So he was out of work for a little bit.
Yep.
Brandon's work currently right now is basically school while getting paid because he's learning to be not just a regular mechanic, like he's being a heavy-duty diesel mechanic.
Yeah,
and
a journeyman diesel mechanic.
Yeah, so it takes a lot of schooling to do that,
Yes.
and to miss time and to make that up is not. It's going to be a lot at once.
Yeah.
So that was like last week we were going to record, but Brandon was like balls deep in this test.
Yes.
That he needed.
Yes.
Needed to get through to get to his next step, which now he's at work. So now we're working opposite schedules.
Yes.
So
it's
a
only
lot going on
for 5 weeks though, because I missed so much.
Yeah.
I missed so much.
Well, and we just had a lot, and then on my days off, I just talked about like I worked
Yeah.
some long days, and then on my days off, we've been like scheduled with so much stuff. So we've been really busy the last few weeks, but we're here probably April. I would say it might be busy till the end of March.
Yes.
With
but
trips and stuff.
So I'm going on vacation next week, right?
Yep.
You just came back from vacation, right?
We had a mini vacation.
Yeah, mini one. Yeah.
Getaway,
He had a break. I had a break. I'm getting my break. But yeah, it's constant. Justin did this episode. So if you guys go listen to you guys watching, go to listen to the podcast. This is Justin's research. He's the one that did this. I did the opener. I think it is gonna work. We haven't done it yet, but I think it's gonna work. Justin's not sold.
I'm not sold yet, but we've done it before.
But I have a vision, and Justin doesn't see it. And Justin's had done the same thing where he's had a vision. Actually, just the last opener with The Good Place.
Yeah,
I didn't see it with Koopy Scoopy. I didn't see it. I could see where it'd be funny. I just didn't see what was gonna work. But I gave trust into Justin, and it worked. And I think it was really good. I listened back to it. I thought it was really funny.
I thought it was an interesting one. Yeah, Cooper did really well.
He did really good. He was a little stiff, but it was his first time ever doing something like that. So I think he did really, really good. I give him a B. I give him an 89%, which is damn good. I give myself for my first one about a 72. I don't know. I did pretty solid Ron Burgundy, but
it's hard. It really is difficult to like find scenes because we're not. If you listen to the podcast, we don't just like take a scene and then do it line for line. Like we kind of started off that way a little bit.
Yes.
Because we didn't know what to do. But now we're taking scenes that we're trying to fit the show. We're parodying them.
It's a true parody. Yes.
So that the words are changed to fit mine and Brandon's life.
Yes, but it's undoubtedly where it came from.
Yeah.
It's very difficult. It's very nuanced. Yeah. It's very niche. And it's a fun thing to do, but it takes a lot of work because it's not only just, oh, I like this scene. We're doing this scene. It's more like, I like this scene. I like this scene. I think this is the one that's going to work the best. What do you think? I sent Justin, 2, 3 of them? So.
Well, you sent me 2.
I sent you 2. I was like 2 or 3. I couldn't remember.
One of them didn't work. The other one, the one that he's talking about, I don't necessarily see right now, but again, we've been down that road of Brandon's been like, I think this one's going to work. And I go, Okay, I can't think of anyone other. We can't think of another scene. So,
Yes, I think it'll work, especially because I have the vision. I don't want to like play it out right now because I want you guys to go listen to it.
This is a podcast. Yeah, go to justareyes.com if you're on YouTube.
Yes, exactly. We could plug right now if you want. Just Justareyes on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll do it for the podcast side. The YouTube side, we do it right there. Yeah, justareyes.com to find all of it. Podcast, YouTube. You can go to the anchor page and donate. That justareyes.com will take you there as well.
Yep.
Donate to the show. If you want to see us more, you can give us a little bit more money, and then we can do a little bit more things. Spend more time with you guys.
Think I'm doing the dice thing too much?
For this episode of the podcast, it's the history of paper, which is an interesting one, right? I mean, everyone knows what paper is.
Papyrus.
Well, it started as papyrus. Well, we'll get into the history. If you want to know more about it, listen to the podcast.
I know very little, so I'm going to learn with you guys on this one because I haven't had a chance to go through the notes yet. It'll be a fun time. So I'm going to learn some stuff with you guys, and I do know a little bit about paper. I'm not completely ignorant. And I do a little bit of, I looked into it a little bit because, of course, why would I not?
Yeah, I didn't do the same thing. At least I can't. At least a tiny bit, yeah.
But it's not a lot, and it's going to be a lot of learning, and it's going to be a lot of good times, and a lot of joking, and a lot of Justin pooping his pants.
Poopity pants.
Poopity pants.
The history of paper really is, it's a lot more interesting. Well, most of these things, we look into and we're like, oh, you know what, that's kind of cool.
Like burials.
Burials is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Some of them take you by surprise, and I think paper might be one that takes you by surprise. Like the history, I don't take it all the way to present day because you get to a point in history where it's just
paper.
It's
paper.
But how we get to that point of paper not only becoming a thing but becoming a regular thing is a bit of a journey, and I'm excited to share that with you guys on the podcast side. I think the podcast side, we need to get into it. I think we just need to get straight to the episode. We're going to do a little bit shorter intro this time around, a little bit shorter episode. Yeah. But again, I promise you, at the end of the month, we're going to be going ham. Yeah. We're going to give you guys, hopefully we're going to go through a stretch there where it's like every week we get you some. We're going to start building up some notes. Yeah. Start building some things up.
Yes. And that is the ultimate goal. And we have other things that we're working on over on our side that we're not talking about yet because they're not fleshed out all the way yet. Once they're fleshed out all the way, we'll start letting you guys know what's going on, giving you guys here a heads up of what's happening over our socials. Yeah. So there'll be information here on the either this show or this show. People who are watching realize I'm either pointing to the camera or I'm pointing to the mic, meaning video or audio only shows. And we won't be showing them on our socials until they're like getting really close to being released. Yeah. And just because we love you guys and we want you guys who are really listening to us and wanting to enjoy a good time with us get the most information. Love you. Okay.
YouTube.
Okay. Also, are we doing this thing again? Because that made me uncomfortable. I don't want to do the thing again.
What?
That thing.
The staring?
Yeah.
No, the breathing which you did is staring.
What? I'm pretty sure it was you.
I'm a starer in general. Like I can't help it. I sometimes I'm just like zoning out. Sometimes I just stare.
I'm a stare and then glance. I'm mostly a glancer. I like to glance at things.
I kind of just go.
I think that's probably part of what I get migraines from is I just try to download too much information.
Yeah, I'm like downloading information and then I'll like zone out and like my mind will go. Now, especially now that I've noticed, like I've been again talking about tapping into like more of my creative side.
Yeah,
I've noticed like I've been like looking at things a little longer than I need to and zoning out more like I used to. Some more vivid dreams. Like when I start tapping I start to have really vivid dreams.
Who is it?
Like realistic dreams.
Who's visiting the Justin
Cooper?
I knew it.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't have. I mean, it's weird. I don't have like vivid sex dreams. I don't.
Really?
I have like vivid, like real world dreams. Like I had a dream.
Me neither. I have vivid world dreams too.
No, I remember whenever I was in college, I had a dream that I was like literally working in Sacred Heart with the Scrubs cast. Like it was, but they were the characters. Like I was like, for a whole shift, it was as real as can be. Nope. I was working with them.
Nope. But I have had sexy dreams about old Justareyes, so
I mean, I get it.
I get it. I mean, like Turk with the like.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she's like, ooh, you're into Turk? She's like, no, I'm a lesbian in here. Huh? Me too. Elliot and Justareyes. Yeah, but I've always had a thing for Justareyes. One of my first crushes.
Yeah. Don't blame me. She's a phenomenal actress too.
Yeah, phenomenal. Absolutely.
A lot of people.
She does this new show. I haven't watched it, but I want to. And she plays like a hard motherfucker. Like she plays like a hard hitting motherfucker. Like I do want to watch it. I can't remember the name of it offhand, but she does play like a totally not Carla character. Like Carla, if she stayed hood. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like that's what it seems like. Yeah, fuck like that, no, but not like that. Yeah, yeah, not like that. But like the attitude and the jacking bitches up like that.
Okay. Have you been watching anything new lately?
I watched Pam and Tommy. I'm almost done with it. I'm not quite there yet.
I watched like the first 4 episodes of that one.
Oh, that's where I was
barely
like
getting
2 days ago, and then
I'm
just barely. There's only 8 episodes total. So
yeah,
I'm 20 minutes into the 8th episode.
Just to the part where he meets Nick Offerman.
Oh, you got so much to go.
Yeah, I got a lot of ways
we'll
to go.
talk about we'll boop that one because there's just that's all prep. Once you get past that, that's when all the shit starts really going down.
I mean, I seen him talk to his penis. Like that
was
that was wild.
That was wild. His dick like literally lifts up. I do like that they're going full frontal for men too.
Oh yeah, like
it's not that I'm like 6, but I
listen to Bill Lawrence talk about it like on Scrubs. Like if you watch Scrubs, he talks about it. He's like
Always Sunny people talking about it too.
If we're gonna have these Cher Chark and Judy Reyes and Krista Miller, if we're gonna have them do these sexy scenes, then it's only fair that we do Donald Faison, Zach Braff, John C. McGinley, obviously the Todd.
Yes. yeah.
Like then that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
If it's not. Yeah, because you're not just there to like market. You're trying to make a real story. And it's not like, real stories have both.
And it's not like every time. And don't get me wrong. Like I look. You know what I'm saying? Like I look, but it's not like every time a girl in a show walks in with a bra, I'm like instant arousal. It's not how it works.
Like you're distracted. You can't pay attention to the story.
Exactly. It's just like I'm appreciating your body. The same thing with dudes. Like I'll appreciate their bodies, but
like John C. McGinley getting a good sweat on.
Yeah, I'm never like sexually charged by it, but it's like okay, I can appreciate something that's going on right here.
I wouldn't be sexually charged by John C. McGinley, but I think there'd be few people that I would be like starstruck slightly. I think John C. McGinley would be one of those. I wouldn't know what to say.
Yeah,
I would be like, "Hi, Mr. McGinley."
If my meeting with Dan Cummins tells me anything, I get starkly quiet and I have nothing. My brain processes nothing.
Well, I see some of these people that just like they operate on like a higher level. Like I was talking about with Coop, like I'm getting like general, like I've been asked to do a couple things now at work for audio visual type things, and
because they know you've been doing this.
And I was like, well, it's easy for me, and I was like, but I see like people that do it consistently, and I'm like, how could I even do that?
Yeah, very good.
I think like John C. McGinley would be like somebody on that level.
Yes.
Like,
how can I even act like that? Yeah, no, he's insane, dude.
Some people are just crazy talented.
Yes, and he's definitely one of them. And it's funny. I kind of hate the word talent. I do. I really hate the word talent for one reason. Hard work. That is hard motherfucking work and understanding. The talent comes from the mentality, I guess.
Well,
and some people have a natural disposition to things. I get it. I think
that's what comes to talent is the natural disposition.
But when you have natural disposition, you don't become that super famous and well known and without the hard work.
Well,
that's why you
need both.
You need both, and that's what I'm saying. And that's why kind of. This is the first time I've ever said anything against people saying talent. I internalize it. But I'm saying it now so you guys can...
It's used loosely. It is. It's used loosely. It's like people calling like somebody like the GOAT or something. Or somebody's the greatest of that. Well, I mean, it's used very liberally.
It's very loose.
Because talent can take you here. Hard work can kind of take you here. Both of them can take you here.
Yes. But I mean, if you suck at something really bad, but you work really hard at it all the time, you will eventually surpass anybody who's just talented.
I disagree with that.
No, hold on. Let me get there.
Okay, I'll let you.
But if somebody is predispositioned to be talented, talented but predisposition for it, and then they work as hard as you, you'll never be able to catch them.
I think there's some
That's
people,
where it comes from.
I would disagree with that in this sense because you can't tell me that there is somebody who just is not.
Go ahead.
Physically gifted, or not musically gifted.
I should have said physically stuff aside.
But even like a painter, you can't tell me that even people that don't work hard at it, that are just talented painters, that somebody who just cannot figure it out, works their butt off, can get as good as them. It just doesn't happen. Like if they have like a sliver of talent,
no, it has to,
and then work at it.
Well, if they have nothing, it have to eventually click. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Like that's a different thing.
Like the hard work beats out talent happens most of the time. I'll agree with that. Most of the time.
There has to be a...
But you also have to have at least a little bit of...
Well, like Malcolm Gladwell's, there has to be a tipping point. There has to be a point where things shift, and it's not necessarily 10,000 hours, which a lot of people credit him to 10,000 hours. He just made it available to people. He didn't come up with the 10,000
Well,
hours.
and people will like agree and disagree, but it is like you need to shoot for that much time.
Yes. I mean, you
I've been going back
and keep grinding, and 10,000 hours seems to be the point in which things shift.
Yeah. I've actually been going back and listening to Revisionist History. I've finished the first 2 seasons again.
I haven't really listened to it in a long time.
I haven't listened to, well, I've been so busy. Like, I haven't been able to, like, watch or do much of anything. And then I was at work, and I was like, you know what? I want to go back and listen to Malcolm Gladwell. His Season 2, Episode 2, Road to Damascus, is one of the best podcast episodes ever made by anybody.
Yeah,
that episode is.
I did listen to that episode.
It's so fascinating.
I gotta have to go back and listen to it.
So good.
Yeah.
He talks about a spy and way back during the Cold War. He talks about a spy in the Middle East.
CIA, right?
That goes into to the CIA. Well, he goes into the U.S. Embassy as an act of expiation, which is expiation, if I can say the word right. Just kind of like make amends for his past sins.
Yes, I do remember the story. Yes.
Oh my God, it's so well done, and the story is just so fascinating.
He takes a fascinating story and just fleshes it out. But that's an amazing writer, somebody who spent more than 10,000 hours reading other people's work and critiquing it and editing it and realizing what's wrong with it and writing more than 10,000 hours on his own stuff. A true master putting together a story with a great team. And that's what happens when you have a great story and somebody can just flesh out that story in the way that only Malcolm, I feel, can do.
Yeah, he's very good at it.
Yes.
He's very, very good at it.
Yeah, and I can only imagine, even like the freaking French fries. The
episode of that one too. It's the end of episode to season 2, I think.
Yeah, so
season 3.
That's one of the last ones I've listened to, because I think I finished all of season 2, maybe most of season 3.
I've caught up, but I'm just going back and listening to some of them.
Okay. Hey, has he made any more in a while?
Last year, I think season 6 came out. There's 6 seasons.
God, he's been busy.
Yeah.
He's been a busy little bee.
I don't know if there's a new one. I don't know if he's going to keep doing it.
I still need to read. I'm just kind of waiting until I'm done with my DDM program. Or at least I'm done with all the book side of it.
I listened to the audio book of...
I love to read his. I do love
to read it, but the way he made the audiobook of the Bomber Mafia, it was made like a podcast, so it's worth listening to the audiobook.
I have listened to one of his audiobooks. I can't remember which one it was, but I have listened
to the other ones. I read the books. That's the only one I did.
I read the book and then later listened to Yeah,
because he purposely made the Bomber Mafia audio book to sound like a long story of a podcast.
Yeah,
because he has the interviews, he has the clippings playing, he does
a great job. Yeah, he does a great job. He's very thorough.
So usually I like to read his books, but
I really love David and Goliath is one of my favorite books. Outliers, one of my favorite.
Outliers is like one of the first books I read.
Yeah, that's the first one.
Wanted to make me read more.
Yes,
because for a while there I was like back and forth on reading. And then I read that book, and I read a lot. I need to read more, and I love to read. I would just get caught up on other things. I didn't put as much importance into it as I should have.
Reading is very important,
and that was one of the first books that I was like, I need to sit down and read more. And then obviously you get caught up on Jack London, and then you get caught up on.
I never read Jack London.
I have a book of short stories that has a bunch of awesome, well-written short stories by a lot of famous writers. So one of these I'll have to let you.
Yeah,
steal it from me.
Yeah, whenever I'm back to reading, because I still there's a couple books. Actually, I have like my catalog. So I am generally a very avid reader. I read very slow. I have reading problems and writing problems, like it just with spelling, and I'll flip. I'm never been diagnosed. I think I've said this before. But I'm pretty positive I'm dyslexic. I have all the classic signs for it. So I read and write almost in spite of it, just so that way I can move past it in my life, because reading and writing is such an integral part to my life, and how much I actually enjoy story, and story is, I feel, to me, it's told best on paper. Like, that's just the way I enjoy it the most.
A good writer can give you details that other mediums just can't.
Yes, and the one, so Percy Jackson would be the first, but the one that really sold me, the series that really sold me on how important the written word is Christopher Polanyi's Inheritance Cycle. My favorite. I will read those books over and over again for the rest of my life. I love them so much. They really have made an impact on me as a person, understanding how important storytelling is. And that's just one series of many, many, many series I've read, on top of other books, that are non-series, that are about life, and they're about autobiographies and biographies. And I read so much because of that. I've taken such a break. It's feel like a part of me has kind of been lost.
I haven't read as much. I was just going to say that I have a couple books that I like, the Happiness Hypothesis.
I've heard of that one. Yes, it's on my short list, actually.
I have the book. I need to finish reading it.
Okay,
yeah.
I will be taking that book.
Okay, as soon as I'm done, I'll give it to you.
And I have Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules of Life. I've bequeathed it to Andrew. I have it in my possession still, but I told him he can have it next. Okay. But when he finishes it, you can totally have it. Yeah, I want to reread it, but I'm probably a little bit away from that because I need to get.
I need to like make myself, like, even if it's 20, 30 minutes in a day, sit down and read. I think, like you say, you have dyslexia. Dyslexia.
Yeah.
No, dyslexia.
That's actually a very old joke, dude.
Yeah.
People they've been saying this joke for maybe 15 years, 16 years. You and Tyler. Yeah. Dyslexic.
But I really do think I have ADD. I think me and Dad and Bryson and probably you.
I have ADHD. Yeah.
I don't have ADHD. I have because I like, I'll be reading, and my mind will go off into another story, and I'll be in another world while reading, and I'll have to go back and reread what I just read, and like when I'm doing research, like I get lost in thought somewhere else constantly.
The problem with my research, with me doing research, is I can't just sit there. Even playing video games, I can only sit there for a couple hours. I can't just sit and play games all day. There was points in my life, because like ADHD, there's hyperfixation. So you can sit down for hours and hours and hours and hours and just do the same thing over and over again.
See, I used to do that.
I can't do that anymore. But I think it's because I've changed my lifestyle so much. My ADHD has evolved. And maybe just I've evolved. And so everything I am has with me.
I think ADD can be a good thing, though. I wish I could corral it more. Like for school, I wish I could have corralled it more. But I also like it in the fact that I think it helps me be more creative at times too, because those stories that I get lost in are me just kind of letting go in my head. Like, it's not me like trying to like, because sometimes I'll have like a video or we'll put something out, and I cringe at myself, and I just don't like it, and I'm really critical of myself.
Hot garbage.
And I almost am like afraid to tell people to watch it or listen to it, even though like I've put a lot of time and effort into it. But in my head, I can just like let go and do the wildest, craziest thing. So the only way that I found, and I can only do it in small bits. That's why I have like, if you go through my phone and you go through my old phone, I have like hundreds of voice memos. Yeah, I have a couple.
But I think like a comic, right, where I think of bits all the time. I'm like, oh, that's a funny bit. So like I will put that blah 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 the story in my thing, or I'll type it out if I can't say it out loud on my phone, right? Yeah. Because I get very like self-conscious. Like I won't ever share any of my stuff with you guys unless I start doing it on stage. Like I man up and actually get on stage and start doing it.
It is terrifying to put something out there.
It is, dude. It's oh my god. I should have been on stage several times now, and I haven't because I'm scared. But I do want to ask you, I forgot what I was going to ask you. I had a question for you. It was a good question, and I totally spaced on it.
Wow.
What do you want from me?
Wow.
What were we literally just talking about?
Moving on. Well, this is going to be a shorter YouTube video, as we'll get into the podcast recording. We're trying to fit this into a tight schedule. But have you watched Batman? Have you watched The Batman? The Batman? I'll take it as a no. I'm vengeance.
The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
Does he do the voice like that?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm not as good at it. I haven't been practicing. It hurts my throat a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of
I'm Batman.
Other things
kind of like that. That's a little more. It's a little more raspy instead of like that.
So he went full Christian Bale on this one for that Batman.
Similar. I will say this: it's a 3-hour movie. If you go watch it, it's a 3-hour movie. It has, someone put on Twitter, it has more endings than, what is it, the Two Towers? Which I thought was funny. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan, you might and it does kind of. Me and Gabriella, my wife, we went and watched it, and she was like, I thought it was going to end like 4 times, and it just kept going. So it does, like, there's a few times you're like, oh, this is, okay, it was good, it was an end, and then it keeps going. And it's still really good throughout.
Yeah. It was weird calls in the editing room, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the guy who plays the Riddler.
I know Colin Farrell plays the
Penguin, which is wild if you see him.
So
Paul Dano. Paul Dano plays, and he's the guy from The Girl Next Door. He
Yes.
plays the Riddler. He does a really good job.
So hold on, you'll love this. So there is a post I saw. Richard Kind. So they're like,
Richard
why
Kind's so
pay?
funny.
Why pay Colin Farrell? Why paid for Colin Farrell's makeup like hundreds of $1,000s to make him look like Richard Kind when he could have just hired Richard Kind? And they're side by side, and I was like,
That's so messed
out of
up.
pocket,
That's so funny.
out of pocket
For sure.
but you're not wrong. Poor, if you guys don't know Richard Kind,
Oh, I'm sure he's great about it. Like you said, he posted it. Richard
Yeah.
Kind's
well,
hilarious.
I don't know if he posted it. I don't think he posted it, but
I'm sure he'd be someone that's not like
he would
opposed
laugh.
to.
No, he's
Yeah.
great.
Richard
Richard Kind is
Kind
great.
is
He's
awesome.
a beautiful person too. He they'll call. They'll call.
Yeah.
So
I think I got Yaba.
Mangala. Anyways, so if you guys don't know who we're talking about, if you go watch Scrubs, he's a reoccurring
No,
patient.
think of Little Nicky.
Little Nicky. Where is Little Nicky?
He's the beginning. He's the one watching the girl through the window.
Is that him? No, that's a different guy.
No, I'm pretty sure it's him.
No,
Little Nicky.
I'm 100% positive.
At the very beginning, it's Richard
He
Kind.
also a well-known actor. You're right with the level of known, and they're both Jewish, so you're kind of racist. But
No, it's Little Nicky. That's him.
okay.
I would. He's in. Oh,
Yep.
you're right. John
Yep.
Lovitz. Damn
John
it.
Lovitz. I couldn't remember his name, but I knew who it is.
Yeah, they're
yeah.
very similar. But Richard Kind's.
Yeah,
They're both
dude,
really funny in a similar way.
I love John Lovitz. I mean, he's in a ton of movies with Adam Sandler.
I'll admit I was wrong. I was
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah, usually are.
They're both hilarious though in similar ways.
Yes. Well, they're both.
John Lovitz is a little bit more
they're
like
catty, but yeah, he's
risque
like he's
and-
more creepy, risque, and Richard Kind's more of like
neurotic.
obnoxious.
He's more neurotic.
Yeah, obnoxious, neurotic. And so like go to watch Scrubs, and he's a recurring character, and he plays a hypochondriac.
Extreme hypochondriac.
Extreme hypochondriac. And there's an episode specifically where Dr. Cox tries to get him to stop from getting a body scan in a battle between him and Bob Kelso, the chief of medicine. And Richard Kind is kind of like that linchpin between him, and he's like this obnoxious hypochondriac, extreme hypochondriac. And he's so funny. He does such a great job.
I was at my friend Kelly Papadopoulos' wedding, okay? I share a glass of ouzo with this guy named Janos. 20 minutes later, I'm in a cab. I gotta ask the guy to pull over because I'm gonna explode in some guy's rose garden. Now, what would you think?
Same thing I think right now. That you got yourself a bad case of the wish you were six.
Yeah, well, I read the symptoms on the internet, okay? I have yaba.
Would you say you've been in contact with many exotic primates this year?
I have been to the zoo, yes.
He's funny in most things he does.
He's funny in most things he
does.
does.
He's
That's
done Spin City too. He worked with Bill Lawrence for a while.
For a long time. And that's the only reason he did Scrubs is because
his relationship with Bill Lawrence.
From Spin City.
But anyways, so the Batman, Colin Farrell as a penguin is wild. It also has
that's what started this whole thing.
It also has John Turturro. He plays Falcone.
John Turturro.
You know who he is. He's from Transformers. He's from
That's such a
Anger
familiar
Management.
name.
He's from. I'll show you. A picture.
Hispanic.
Yeah, he's Hispanic.
Hispanic, fast talking dude. Generally, not all his characters, but
Yeah,
generally.
he plays in a lot of Transformers movies.
He's not even in the movie.
He's like a huge character.
he's kind of looks like John Leguizamo, right? Except older. Oh no, yes. Not even look at it all like John.
From
yes,
The Big Lebowski.
No, he's from freaking Anger Management. He's from John Turturro. Yeah, I was like, that sounds so familiar. Of course, he's hilarious. I got fired for my ice cream job today. No more pachicos.
I love that they don't even like credit him for being in the Batman. He's like a huge.
I didn't even know he was going to be in it.
Character. He plays Falcone.
I didn't know that he was playing Falcone.
Yeah.
I had no idea he was going to be in it at all.
See, look, it has the Batman there, but it has nowhere else. Like that's
so shitty. He's been in Hollywood longer than most of these people in this movie.
I know.
Especially
He's
Robert.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah. Oh,
We thought you
George Clooney, John Turturro, freaking what's the third guy's name? What's the third brother's name? you gotta look it up. Also a great actor. Dude, if you guys, it's been out forever, and I'm sure most of you have because it is a well-known movie.
We thought. Yeah, Tim Blake Nelson.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Was
yes.
a toad.
He was a toad.
What?
We thought you was a So
John Goodman's in it.
yes,
It's
dude,
so well done.
the
The Soggy Bottom Boys.
yes.
Just look at the Soggy Bottom Boys.
Yeah, look at it. It's a great song. I love that song too.
I am a man of constant sorrow. Yeah, it's a good song. It's just a great
I used
movie.
to know it. I don't remember it anymore.
Yeah.
I used to know the song. Yeah, great
So
song.
back to the Batman. John Turturro's in it as well. He does a amazing job as Catwoman. Zoe Kravitz, the daughter of Lenny Kravitz, although she's made her own name. It's not just the daughter of Zoe Kravitz.
No, she is gorgeous too. Oh.
Yeah, my wife was fairly impressed with her as well.
Yes, smoke show.
So
Oof. I would say she's hotter than hardcore,
I will
but it's probably because she's dark.
I will
me.
say, oh yeah, I liked her. I will say though, so the Batman 3-hour movie, it is very well done, very very well done.
Yeah.
It's a different style of Batman movie. It's not an origin movie.
No.
It doesn't show the origin of Batman.
Nope.
This is a Batman about
kinda
a
like-
year in.
It's kind of like let's equivalent because I've done quite extensive research
I
on
will
trying to
say-
get to the story, but it's like Spider-Man, the with Tom Holland,
Yeah.
but darker, grittier, dark Batman.
Well, so I was gonna say, so Spider-Man and Batman remind me they're very similar in this vein, where no other characters are like this, where they have to balance being both, right?
Two sides of one coin.
Two sides of one
well,
coin.
a lot of it, but it doesn't. They don't harp on it as much inside of their character stories
Well,
as
they
they do with
do-
these two characters.
Yeah.
that's what.
They're the two
I'm
main
crediting
ones.
to your point.
Like they have to, like he has to be Bruce Wayne, but he also has to be Batman, and he has to separate those two and learn how to live that way.
Yep.
Where
Peter-
Spider-Man also
yeah.
has to be Peter Parker and Spider-Man, and he has to separate those two and live that way.
Yes.
And it's hard for them to do. They can't do both.
and it's. And I mean, yes, there's other characters that do it, but they don't harp on
And
it
it's
nearly.
very
as
much finding a balance.
Yeah.
Like it's like a duality, man. Like we go to work. We're one person when we go to work. We got to be one person when we go home. Right? Not obviously not as extreme, right? But I
like,
have to talk and act to people.
Superman's like that, but they don't harp on it as much. How important
Yeah,
it is.
but I mean,
for
because
him
he's
to Clark
Superman.
Kent and
Yeah,
Superman,
and he's
yeah.
Superman. But I will say
And
that
then Iron
so-
Man, I think the most brilliant thing they did was "I am Iron Man." Have him just
yeah,
say it
I'm-
and then
I'm him.
avoid.
Yep. But the Batman movie, I will say, it's not so much as Bruce Wayne growing up to be Batman. It's Batman growing up to be the Batman that he wants to be. It's you very rarely see Bruce Wayne. And it's more of Bruce Wayne acting as Batman. So I think you're going to see more Bruce Wayne in the future.
It's a lot of detective and a lot of.
It's a Batman noir movie. It's an old style noir detective movie.
That's how it should be. That's how
And
Batman.
because
should have
Batman is
always
a great
been.
detective. He's not
Don't
a
get me
crime
wrong.
fighter. So in this movie, he's not a crime fighter.
Yes.
He's a detective.
I
In
grew
other
up
Batman
on,
movies, he's a
on
crime
Batman
fighter.
Forever. I grew up on the Christopher Nolan Batman. I grew
Mm-hmm.
up on all of these Batman, like Michael Keaton, George Clooney. Not so much the Adam West because that was way before my time.
Yeah. Don't forget about Doc Holliday,
Yeah, freaking Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. Thank you.
Which we'll just
Yeah, it happened.
it was a moment in time. But Christopher Nolan, I
Ben
grew up
Affleck.
on Ben Affleck. And I watched Batman Superman, and I haven't. I watched Justice League, the Zack Snyder. I watched most of it. I haven't finished it.
I'll give
but
Ben
I watched
Affleck
most
this
of
though. I think the same thing with Jared Leto's Joker. They never really got a great shot.
it. It
to
wasn't
be
their
good.
fault.
Yeah.
I don't feel like because they're both high class actors. It's not. It usually if a very very good actor doesn't seem like they're doing great is almost always the production side.
Yeah.
Not always. Sometimes that actor is a dickhead and they've
Or
reached
they
that
take
point.
a chance. Like I think the part of the Joker was that he took a chance in doing it a little bit differently.
Yes.
And it didn't work out, but I also didn't think he got the chance to really give it the full try of taking that chance.
I
So
think
it was a combination.
I think if they would have, so I think there's a theory. Okay, even in the comic books, even inside one universe, there's 3 Jokers at any given time. 3 totally different people who are all the Joker, and Batman can't discern the difference.
Well, and the Joker's character lends itself to be that. That's what makes a Joker character so good.
Yes.
Is there's no real like origin. There's no real identity. There's no real anything. He's just chaos.
Yep, and so
True chaos.
and that's what made the movie The Joker so fantastic.
Well, And there was
love that movie.
People were hoping. So there's a small spoiler. Do you want me to do a small spoiler for Batman? And I won't tell you the whole story, like how he solves his crime or anything like that. It's at the very end of the movie. It's kind of a post credit.
I'm gonna respectfully ask that you don't.
Okay.
I'm gonna respectfully ask.
Then
I
I'll leave
appreciate
it
you
alone.
for setting it up for letting me. Yeah.
I'll leave it. Well, you go watch it.
Yeah.
And we'll come back to this.
Yeah.
Because there is an actor that's going to step into the Batverse that I think is a really good choice. I'm kind of excited to see what he does. I'm not going to say anything else besides that.
I heard that I've heard tell of certain actors coming into the Batverse, but I don't know what capacity.
Yeah.
Like Keanu Reeves becoming Batman.
Well, no, Keanu Reeves is becoming Batman, but in a comic.
I was gonna say.
Oh, sorry.
Because there's a whole list of actors.
Yeah, The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock.
Kevin Hart.
And Kevin Hart. And
Sorry.
there's one more. Yeah. Let's set up. I was gonna set up a whole thing.
You know what? Let's scrub this. Go ahead, Brandon.
It's gone. Moment's gone.
Oh man. Speaking of moments,
I'm about
gone.
this deep in beer too, so there's no way
I'm way behind you.
Yeah, I've had a pretty long day, so I worked on a truck and we could have sold it, but there was about I don't know, probably
Whoa.
At least like I don't know if it was like 2 foot crack. It's pretty deep too inside the rear differential, and if anybody knows anything about a rear differential, you could technically run it. Could technically run with a.
It won't fly for an inspection.
Well, it won't fly for an inspection, but also crap gets in there, and then it just completely. We were talking about it, and we were like $250,000, $300,000 for after man hours, parts, and all that to replace a rear diff, because you have to, and then if the PCR shot, then that's a whole other cost on top of it. Because you're gonna have to replace the finals, the axle, and the rear diff housing, and if the PCR shot as well, then it's done. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. We're saying, so it's $3 million for a truck, $6 million after labor for a truck to get on site and be usable.
Oh yeah, they spend quite a bit of money to make money.
But whenever they're making $2,000 a truck per hour,
oh, they make their money. No, trust me, they make their money.
Okay, I can spend money.
I mean, the mine we work
and
at,
it's 24/7, guys.
If you guys are from here, you guys know.
Actually, it'd be 22 hours, 23 hours a day. There's a half hour here and there.
Yeah. Well, we can get into semantics on the hours.
And right now we're at 91 or 92% availability. Yeah. So that means 91 or 92% of the whole entire fleet is moving around rock right now. So that's
pretty good.
Pretty good amount of money. Yep. And they overwork those mills too because they're trying to keep up with the demand of how much earth they're moving.
Yeah. But that'll do it for the YouTube side of things. We got to get into a podcast.
I do want to talk about my animes for my anime minute. I got 1 minute.
1 minute.
Okay. Fire Force is absolute fire. I'm going to watch Chainsaw Man next. That's all tied into the Soul Eater verse. At least they for sure thinking that it's 92% sure that the Fire Force is tied in with Soul Eater. So it may be a resurgence of Soul Eater, which is one of my favorite all-time animes. I know Justin's falling asleep, but he's a poopy pants. And I'm really excited. It's really, really good. Also, Attack on Titan, guys. If you guys aren't watching Attack on Titan, I don't know what you're doing. Attack on Titan's amazing. Even if you're not an anime fan, Attack on Titan's amazing. It's a really, really, really good show. Solid all the way through. Anyways. That's my minute.
You still have 20 seconds.
20 seconds. Okay, so we can talk about One Piece. One Piece is getting pretty good. I can't wait for... I don't want to say much because not everybody's caught up because it's freaking 1,050 plus episodes. But there's some shit going on. Really cool arc. Watch it. All right.
3, 2,
and
1.
Boobs.
Time. I told you a minute, so I had to honor a minute.
Yeah, I just want boobs at the end.
We'll get into more the next YouTube episode in podcast. We'll have more time. We're going to start getting some episodes under our belt.
You're going to actually talk about anime with me? Is that what you're saying?
We'll see. Maybe one day.
Watch AOT.
We'll see.
Watch AOT.
Anyways, we'll get back to you. Thank you guys for joining us. Yeah. We got a podcast episode to record though, and we got families to spend time with and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and I got tears to shed and
we love spending time with you guys.
Love you guys.
But we gotta get out of here. Thank you.